Everybody, what's up? I'm going to play a bunch of deep stack games, and this first video is going to be at the $5 level. I've chosen this fat Mark guy who has pretty impressive stats, running about 20% over a small sample of 100 games, and outside of his heads up he's also got the shark icon on Shark Scope. So this guy's a pretty good player. And I just played him in the last match and lost when I got in Jacks versus Ace Queen, but I was very, very aggressive in that match. And now in the rematch, I'm going to try and use some of that aggression to my favour. Probably tighten up a little bit too, as far as me sort of bluffing. I made a pretty bad bluff in the last match. This guy seems tight, aggressive, and it should be fun. Other things to think about in these deep stack matches. I'm going to start out calling his raises pretty wide on sort of speculative hands, just because we're so deep and I think I've got implied odds. And the other thing that I'd mention is, what's the worst hand that I would get it all in with sort of pre-flop, say 150 big blinds deep, and I think it'd be Jacks, Queens, Kings, Aces, or Ace King. Probably not Ace Queen. I think that's just a little bit light. Alright, and Fat Mark is a surprisingly able opponent for the $5 level. He played pretty solidly in that last game. Whoops, that's thanks to Full Tilt for trying to wreck my video. On the tight side, but a pretty decent player. Cautious, but aggressive in the right spots. And here I call, and I'm going to donk here. I don't think he's going to believe me, and I think he's only going to call me with... I mean, he could possibly have an over pair here. And I'm going to check it down now. If he's got an over pair, I'm not going to feel too good. Oh, a better two. That hurts. Okay. I'm not unhappy with that hand. I expected him to have possibly an over pair. He's pretty tight. Alright, let this one go. He must be calling wide if that sort of hand's going to hit his range. So I think he's loosening up his pre-flop in response to the fact that I was very aggressive in that last game. Let's have a stab at this one. Nope, not going to work. And despite that I hit my jack on my 7 on the turn, sorry, that's not really going to help me. So I'll check this one down. And give it up on the river. Getting outplayed by $5 Fat Mark. It's a sad day. And insta-call. Pretty crappy flop. But we will fire away. I mean, crappy in the fact that I haven't hit a 3. Apart from that, the flop's quite reasonable. It's fairly dry, and I expect him to fold in this sort of flop a lot of the time, seeing he is fairly tight as his sort of predominant trait. Let's have another crack at this one, see if we can get a fold. Is he starting to call the paired boards a bit more often? No, he's not. I just think I ran into an 8 or a queen on that one that came down queen, queen 8. Gotta go back to my more passive style and limp and let him make the mistakes. Have a stab here. Expect to pick up these paired boards against tight players, which I do. So he's staying pretty tight now. I think it's going to be a fairly long an interesting match. Right, we'll 3-bet him here, and if he shoves, I'm not going to be too happy with Ace King. Now that he hasn't shoved, I'm not that unhappy with Ace King. I think a lot of his range here is going to be an ace, possibly lower pocket pairs, and that's not the best card in the world. He could have a set. He could have a full house with 8s. He could have a random ace, or he could have a 9 in this spot. I'm not too happy, and no, he folds the second barrel. So I think it was ace X. And we might just min raise this, see if we can get some action from him. Not the greatest flop in the world. And I expect him to fold when I c-bet. Yep. So a couple of good hands as giving us the lead over Fat Mark, and now we're going to check this one and bet the turn. Just because every time I donked, he kind of didn't want to. I mean, he was folding to on the paired boards a lot, so therefore I think it's better to check. When I hit it, didn't make any difference. I think he's just not calling unless he hits something. Right, could have a nice surprise for him here with Ace Jack. Interesting enough flop. We've got a pair and a gutty. I think I'm behind at this stage, obviously. And the other thing is, oh, there we go. So we've hit the straight. And I expect he'll probably have a 2. Just going to flat him and hope for no spade. Yeah, that's good enough, so we're safe. And he's seen me make some silly bluffs before. Let's try make it look like a silly bluff. Come on, Fat Mark. Good boy. And what did he have there? Possibly 2 pairs. King 9, so he had the wrong end of it. I think what got him there was the limp pre-flop. He's not going to expect me to be limping an ace. That's a rather nice flop for us. I think I just check raising here. And hopefully get it in. And alright, let's hope he doesn't have ace 10. Maybe I went a little heavy there. I thought he really had an ace and he wouldn't fold, but my bad. Right, pocket 10s, and he folds. Nice timing. So yeah. Now that he's down around sort of 50 big blinds, what would I be prepared to get in with? 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks, queens, kings, aces, ace, king, ace, queen, maybe ace, jack, maybe not. Alright, c-bet this flop. I think he's hit a 7 here, and we are going to have to give it up. Nothing's going to save us in this spot. Oh, we hit the 3. Okay, well I figured it was a pair there. Alright, so now we get to grind out Fat Mark, and against these tight players, just stabbing at a lot of flops and getting them to fold basically is the idea, and just sort of hack them down pot by pot. You know, that'll sort of chop their legs out slowly but surely. So half pot size is enough of a c-bet to get a fold, and you don't need to be betting more than that. It's a bit of a waste of chips. It's not going to get you any extra chips. Oh, 50 big blinds. Yeah, right, we're deep enough. We shall play 5-4. And we'll hit a little piece of the flop and call his c-bet, depending on how big it is. Alright, so he's not going to c-bet. And now just had a stab. Maybe 90. And I think I can bet full pot on the river here. And that works. And did he have a 10? Or was he just looking me up on ace x? Let's have a look. He had ace 7 there on that last hand, so just calling me on a random ace. And I think I might have tilted Fat Mark a little bit. Sorry about that, old boy. Here he checks pretty quickly. When you've hit top pair on a dry flop, I often like to check behind, just to give him a chance to catch up, though hopefully not too much. And now check raise and get value from an 8. So we hit the wrong end of that, didn't we? And I think there's a bit more value to be had. He's going to have an 8 in his range, may quite possibly 8-9 or something like that. And if he shoved, I could have easily folded. He had 9-4 he called on, so getting a little loose in his old age. He started out a lot tighter, but because in the previous match I kind of messed around and played very loose against him, he's now loosened right up. It's a battle of the bears here. Here's Panda against my Paddington, and let me tell you, Paddington is a superior bear, so you know, you're really going to have to be pushing it if you're going to beat the Paddington bear. Alright, and he's down. That's a rather nice flop, isn't it? Let's have a slightly larger c-bet, see if we can tempt him. No, he's just folding no matter what. Alright, so he's what, about 22 big blinds. And I think we'll peel with 10-8 here and completely miss. And I'm not going to bother betting because I think if he missed that ace, that queen will hit a lot of his range. Can we get a fold, sir? No, he's really starting to calm me down. King X, I thought so. Yeah, I mean, I know he's getting very stationary at this stage because he's seen me bluff so much. Alright, I think we'll just check and let him catch up a little bit. The queen here is as good as a top pair in this spot. Uh-oh, I think he might have King X or 2 pair, and I'm about to get myself owned if he shoves. I'll fold, of course, and I'll even fold to 360. All yours, buddy. So yeah, he's getting a bit stationary, but I don't think he's going to be bluffing in that spot. And no point folding anything while ever he's not attacking my links, and I can get a fold with a min raise. King Queen, not really going to get it in the King Queen flat. See a flop, and if it's horrible, I'll get away from it. And if I hit a Queen or a King with no ace, then we can do good things. Not going to bluff this guy anymore either. He's seen me bluff quite a bit, and I think that bluffing tricks. It's sort of we've done our bit for bluffing. You can't bluff a guy over and over again. Alright, folding 8-3. I'd be calling that if we were 150 big blinds deep, but not when we're this shallow, like only 30 big blinds or so. Alright, and fire a C-bet, give up if he calls, or raises, and we're dead now unless we catch a 7. Nope, that's all yours, sir. Let that go. We can afford to be patient. That's the other thing in these things. You've got all the time in the world. You don't need to rush, especially when your opponent's crippled. Just take your time, and eventually, the pressure will sort of pile up on this guy, and you'll catch a hand. You'll make a mistake. When you've got the chip lead, all the pressure is on him. This is a pretty good flop. I might check it like I did last time when I got into bed. Pot at me and pot again. And it should hit his calling range. No, that's a pity. I had him set up from the last time when we had that king-queen flop and he bet pot at me, but he didn't do it again. So a little bit unfortunate, but fair enough. $25 big blinds. Would I get it in with 6s? Bit of a tricky spot. I think not quite good enough. I'd probably want to get him with about 8s. And 9-8, I would have called his min raise. Probably don't really want to call a 3x with 9-8. I'm a little bit of a nit. Oh, actually, probably a huge nit. And interesting flop. We'll have a stab and let it go. Yep, alright, that's good enough. So your basic strategy against a guy this tight, min raise and c-bet 50%, and it doesn't look like he's doing a great job of dealing with that. He probably should be attacking my min raises a little bit more, or floating me a little bit more, sort of out of position, or doing something rather than just letting me min raise c-bet. So even though this guy is a good winning player, he sort of hasn't found a way to deal with this strategy. And has he got anything here? Yes, he has. All yours, sir. And I just think it's a matter of time. I think I'm just going to basically grind him down, and catch him sooner or later. And this could be the spot right here. he made a move last time on a board like this, and I think we could have him unless he's caught 2 pair and just 1 pair. Alright, so that's the first match against Fat Mark, and he was a pretty decent player, but we shall go and try and find another player and try and look at a different style if we can. Alright, so the second match here in the deep stacks, and this guy I've never played before, haven't seen him, and know nothing about him obviously, so we should get on and have a look at the quality. I was quite pleasantly surprised at how decent the first player was, that Fat Mark. He ran into a few callers, and you know, he was a bit tough that first match. I'm going to call wide early on and just see if we can't hit ourselves a hand, and not going to fold bottom pair here. Alright, but I will bet it once the check to 2. And he folds, so 4x pre-flop and doesn't see bet, which is a little bit weird, but you know, I guess each to their own. And yeah, as I said, calling super wide, trying to hit some flops, and I might even donk out here, see how he handles that. Got the wrong end of the gut shot, and a pair, and I would donk against players that look tight, and the fact that he didn't see bet that first flop makes me think he's a little tight. Here he checks pretty quickly, so I'm thinking low cards, and not going to get involved with my ace-jack, and all yours, sir. Alright, calling widely 7-6, and wouldn't be doing this in a normal stack or a normal stack tournament, but you know, just calling extra wide, try and hit some flops and maybe clean him up on a lucky flop, and limping just because I can, disguise the strength of my hand. And here I don't think he's going to have an ace. He would have raised with that. He knows I'm not going to have an ace. I think he's got a gut shot and a 5, or a gut shot and a 2, so now I'm not going to get a fold out of him. Oh, that's a pretty nice hand, unless he's got the 2, which is, alright, so he thinks he's got the 2 here, but I'm going to look him up. And he does have the 2, so that's what I thought, a gut shot and the 2. It was the most likely hand there, and that worked out pretty well for him. And call wide a little bit more, and then I might slow that down if I don't hit any stuff. Wonder if I can get another fold on this flop. Expecting him to have high cards. Wet flop, obviously. No. And just got a little more interesting. Wonder how many 6s in his range. Let's find out. There definitely are 6s. So he must be raising on junk. If he's raising with a 6, maybe something like a 6, and I might start 3-betting his raises a little bit just to see how he handles that. So in these deep stack games, you've got enough time to experiment, to you know, see how people are playing, and I just might raise him here. If he's going to get very aggressive, that's fine. He calls me. I could be in trouble against a 10. Let's just go for, say, 140. That should control, and then I can check behind on the river. Yeah, right, I think he's definitely got a 10 now. And I could be in trouble here. No, a7. Wow, he called my post-flop raise on a7. That's pretty loose. So he's looking a little bit stationy and post-flop. So I'll try and take advantage of that. I guess the fact that I check raised him on the or raised him on the king jack has made him a little stationy. Alright, so now we just need to hit some hands and take advantage of the fact that this guy looks a little stationy. Not going to see but a horrible flop like this. And just going to give up on it. And now I think if we, or when we catch a hand, we'll get paid off against this guy. So it's simply a matter of calling and hitting basically, and getting paid off. And that's not a very nice flop. Not running too hot at this stage, but do expect to get paid off big when I finally hit a flop. And let's try and win raise. What does that do? Nothing. The guy's a station. Alright, let's check pretty quickly here. Let's see if we can get a fold. No. A 5 then. that's not a great card. It means I can no longer beat anything except for air, and he had top pair. Interesting and interesting. So basically the moral of this story is hit a hand, get paid off. That's all I need to do. Let's see if I can do it. I think I'll start. I could limp that junk easily. I'm definitely deep enough to do it. So that was probably a bit conservative of me. And I'm going to start tightening up my calling range now. Basically just need a hand, and until full tilt obliges I shall be a little bit passive. When things don't work out, I often simply start folding a bunch of stuff and waiting for a decent hand. You know, A7, decent enough to call a pre-flop raise with suited. And we've hit a gut shot and an overcard, and I think we'll just call one barrel here and see what happens. And not a very nice turn. Would be nice to have hit a single hand, but we haven't had a winning hand yet. 7-2 is not it. So this is an interesting question. Like people said in one of the forums, what do you do when you're not hitting anything and the guy's aggressive? Well, you wait. There's not much else you can do. You wait and you wait and you wait until you hit. As simple as that. And here we've missed. And we get a fold at last, thank goodness. So I think that's about, feels like the first pot we've won, really. And a load of old junk. We'll catch a hand, and as long as it holds up, we're going to get right back into this match. But at this stage, I'm just going to go super passive, just because things are not really flowing, they're not really going my way. Here we go, we catch a hand at last. And he limps. Pass. And then folds to my 4x. He was pretty stationary. I thought that slightly larger raise size might have worked against him, but nope. Alright, here pick up a draw. And can we catch anything? No, we cannot. Yeah, I'll peel one more. No guarantee he's got a 3. And that's got to be a good card. And he folds. Interesting. I think he was. Wonder what he had there. Possibly a 2 or possibly nothing. Alright, this deep I'll call A6. Let's try and hit this as a flop. The other thing is I think this guy might be firing a second barrel whenever I look weak. Interestingly, checks behind there. And can I take this down on the turn? No, I cannot. And I can't hit either. Nothing good is happening. I've just got to tighten up and wait till I hit. Nice play, sir. Don't know why he didn't c-bet, which is completely insane, but still. Nice. Nice hand. Getting owned here. Let's see if we can steal one. Yeah, nice. So I think this guy's stationary when he hits, and otherwise fairly tight. And quite aggressive pre-flop. So things haven't gone well, but patience is a virtue, and we have a plan, which is hit a big hand, get paid off. I wonder if I should have min-raised that instead of limping. Is he going to attack my limp? No, he's not. Good boy. Alright, and I might just check behind, encourage him to bet the turn. Now have a stab. Can we get in the action, sir? Yes, we can, and that's got to be a good river, surely. Let's fire the river. Alright, we got a little bit there when we hit our set by, or hit our 3 of a kind, by checking the flop. And deep enough to call with 10-9. And hit a little draw. Let's hit a queen on the turn, please. And you can fire a second barrel if that's alright when I hit it. Ugh, yucky, yucky, yucky return there. And I might check call here. It's not the best spot. Alright, maybe I should have bet. I don't know. I don't think he's going to call much. quick check, I think he's weak. Could be lots of 7s and 2s in his range, but there aren't apparently in this particular hand. So the idea here is, he's tightened up a little bit, hasn't he? But the idea is to try and hit a hand and get paid off. I guess when I hit that 10-eye flush, I could have bet the river. But, you know, I wasn't getting called by much. Perhaps a low heart, so it would have been better. Let's have a steal here. Yeah, so this guy's tight when he misses and stationary when he hits, which is perfect. That means I can steal, and when he misses the flop, you know, I'll get the steals. Hopefully when he hits, I'll hit a little better than him and clean him up. Alright, 5-6. How's that going to go? Another little draw. A 4, please, not the 9. The 9 gives you the straight with 10 jack, which is definitely a possible hand for you. So the 4, please. Oosh, and now we pick up a second draw. Interesting spot. Oh, he's really making me pay for it. But I think I'm going to get paid off if I hit. And that's just a horrible river we missed. And now we're going to have to give it up. Damn. Maybe that was a loose call on the turn there. I just think if I catch a 4 or a 9 or a heart, then I'm going to get his whole stack. And therefore I think I had the pot odds to make the call. Alright, gut shot and flush draw. And fold. Alright. So a couple of draws that have missed and we paid a little bit too much for, but you know, implied odds are there. Yeesh, that's a horrible flop, so all yours. Let's see if we can make what looks like a steal. Yes, we can. And we can get paid off. What did he call us on? King 6. So he had sort of the straight flush draw, never bet it, and bad things happened. Oops. Bad things happen when you're passive post-flop. That's all I've got to say. And it serves him right for not betting. It's not like I've been super aggressive post-flop. So this is another thing to talk about. Like, if your opponent is super aggressive post-flop, then I can understand that you sort of try and pot control by not getting into aggressive spots, like not sort of betting when you've got a draw because you want to see if it hits or not. But if the guy's passive, I think you're much better off simply betting your hand post-flop and getting the folds when you can. Alright, I think a little bit more three betting pre-flop is in this guy's future. And here he's going to have most likely a draw, and that is a pretty bad card for me. I think he's going to call me on 4s and 5s for his gut shot, which have both just hit, unless we pick up diamond. So now we have 2 pair, and yeah, I think he's going to have a 5 here, and I just feel like a goose. Yeah, I figured so. Just hard to fold a 2 pair there, but I knew he was going to have a 5. Or the other possibility was a 4. Alright, can we get another fold pre-flop? Or have we mistimed it? And looks like we've mistimed it. And we haven't hit a very good flop. This is exactly the sort of flop I think is going to hit his calling range here. We're in the shit now. And I'm going to have to fold. Oh, that's so ugly. We are dead. And we're going to have to fold up. Made a bit of a meal of that one. Yeah, nice. It would be a nice day if I could hit. So really I've just got to discipline myself and play a little better against this guy, and probably being just a fraction loose. Oops, my turn to hit. So I think he's going to have a 9 or a 10 here, or possibly a 7. Let's try the triple barrel. Alright, the double barrel is enough. 8-2, not going far with that one. And it would be nice to hit a hand, double up, and then double up again. not happening on that flop. Alright, so he's got me under the hammer now. What should I do as the short stack? Well, the answer is not panic. I've got all the time in the world. No need for me to do anything silly. I got a little aggressive and a little loose before and it didn't work out too well. So yeah, and the other thing is I do have a decent source of chips. Whenever he misses, I can fire out C-bets. And yeah, it's tightening up. Thank you. I think he should be putting me under pressure when I have this stack and not being so passive, but you know, whatever, he's got plenty of time. Alright, good board for me to C-bet. Shouldn't hit his calling range very much, and there he goes. Thank you, sir. And 9-4, let that go. I think I just keep on trying to claw my way back by this min-raise and bet 50% trick. It seems to be working out pretty well. And the comeback could be on, as long as I don't get cooled. Jack 5, 30 big blinds, a little bit loose, we'll fold it. Close. I mean, I definitely call something like Jack 8 there for a min raise. And missed the flop. He's giving me the long pause, like I think he might have hit this and is about to call or raise. Yep. So you can really tell from the timing. One thing to be able to tell from the timing, you know, the other thing is you then need to take advantage of it and not actually C-bet. So I had the feeling that he hit and then I didn't take advantage of it. Alright. And I think he's missed this. Let's bet. He will check back a 7 and he called that really quickly. Let's just make a big bet here and fold if he shoves or anything. Nice. And he called me on, where's that hand gone, please? Queen 10. So yeah, pretty stationary of him. Dry flop, I know, but still a little stationary. And we've hit something here. It's giving that pause like he's hit. I'm sure he's hit here. I'm just going to flat him and try and suck out in the turn, which I cannot do. So I suspect he's got a 5 here. And it's called yours, or a draw, which just hit. The reason I thought he had a 5 in that last one is I think he would have check raised me with a 9. So more likely that he's got a 5. And a little bit of patience, you know, we won a decent pot before, back up to 1200 chips. And, you know, he's not doing anything special. He's playing decent, but not special. If he donks on this one, I'd be surprised. And I think he's weak just from how quickly he checked. And I'm going to make a larger bet size to get a fold. Did not work, and I could be in trouble here. I'm going to fire one more barrel, but I think a 9 could be part of his range. Oh, we're in trouble. And one more barrel here. I think a lot of his range is going to be 9s, and he's going to have to fold this. And I'll show him just to be nice. There you go, sir. I suspect that didn't make him very happy, but never mind. Alright, 1700. And getting to the spot where, you know, I've actually got a decent stack here. I mean, I've had a decent stack the whole time, but, you know, if I double up now, I'm actually going to sort of be ahead. Can we get into a 3-bet? No, damn. Maybe I should have limped the aces, but he's not really been attacking my limps much, has he? And he's tightening up at the right time, missing ace-jack and ace-ace. Well done, sir. Easy fold. The fact that he waits so long makes me think he's actually got a decent hand there, and the fact that I have 9-6 makes it an easy fold. Alright, let's call this 10-6 suited, completely whiff the flop here and give up if you see bets, all yours. So we haven't hit many flops, and we have made kind of a mess of a couple of hands, but you know, we're still in the match. 2 double ups and we win. And the other thing is, I did make a c-bet size. Oh, suck that on the turn. We rock there. I did make a c-bet size, and please don't have a 4, in that last match. And I think I'm good here, and I'm getting value from a 9. It's a little bit thin. We did make a c-bet size of 150 into the 200 pot in that last hand. The one that we bluffed, yeah, we got value from a 9 there. I think, let's have a look at his hand. And he had, yeah, 10-9. So that's exactly the situation I was waiting for, when I would actually catch a hand and we could get some value from him. That river bet was a bit thin, but I had a read, and you know, it was right. And that's a horrible flop which you're now going to give up on, or yours, sir. So he was a bit stationary there, calling 500 on third pair on that hand. I think that was a bit poor. And it's an interesting spot. Now I'm going to check behind, do the same thing that I told him not to do. Don't check your draw behind. And he's going to fire, and I'm going to give it up. That's right. Didn't like the diamonds, and yeah, not the greatest play, perhaps. All right, ace 10. Let's just flatten hit a flop, eh? And that's not a very good one. Now I wish I had a 3-bet. All yours, sir. Alright, another couple of hands, and things will be looking a lot better. I think this guy's due for a 3-bet too. Yeah, see how he raised really quickly pre-flop, so I think he's going to fold to a 3-bet a lot of the time here. No. Alright, and let's just fire here and hope that we haven't completely stuffed this. We've completely stuffed it. Alright, that sucks. Alright, so we won't be 3-betting him light again, that's for sure. Last two didn't work out, cost us a whole bunch of chips. Yeah, I think we're in trouble here. I don't like calling on Jack Queen, because if you do hit, you can still be cooked if he's got kings or aces or so on. I'm just going to flat one, and if no king or ace comes, then we're in business on the turn. If he's got me beat, he's got me beat. Oh poo. We could be in trouble here. No, he's picked up a flush draw. Hit a 10 on the river. Had 2 pair, not too bad. And we caught him being a little bit naughty there, didn't we? And we're back into it. So I think he cracked under the pressure, to be honest. And we'll fold a couple of hands. Now we just need one more to really cripple him. And this could be it, if I can hit another 7, please. Not a bad turn card, gives me some straight options. And I think I'm going to pay him off here. If he's actually got an ace, I'm in trouble. Oh, that's a horrible card. Let's try the blocking bet. If he shoves me, I'm going to fold. If he raises, I'm going to fold. And hopefully he's just going to fold himself. Thank you, sir. Didn't want to be faced with a big bet on the river there. And this guy's definitely getting out of control. He's getting a lot more aggressive now, so just one good hand should finish him off. Basically pick up aces, 3-bet him pre-flop, and then get it in on the flop. I think I'm good, as long as I haven't walked into an ace here. Yep, good-o. And things are starting to go horribly wrong for this guy. If he think if he 3-bets me, I'm going to shove here. Yeah, things are starting to go horribly wrong. It was all good when I wasn't hitting anything, but once I hit a few hands, then it all became a whole different ball game, didn't it? banks, and he flats me. That's a horrible flop, but we're going to fire on it. If in doubt, bet, and then fold when he raises you. And I think the hand is going to come where I catch a nice hand and he's just going to overplay it. So I should be patient until then. Keep on min raising him because I don't think he likes it. And you can see him tightening up a little bit here pre-flop. Jack Queen, the hand that he didn't like very much last time. And he folds. Grind him down a little bit. We were patient. Might try a donk and see if he raises it. Thought so. Let's get in here. Top pair's good enough. That's going to annoy him. Oh, he's gone on middle pair. He can't be happy. And that, sir, is the game. Well, the $5 deep stacks and some pretty decent players down there. I mean, this guy did make some horrible moves, but the guy before him was decent. And even though he made some moves that didn't work out too well, he wasn't an absolute drooler. And that last hand where I donked, I was really trying to entice him to attack the donk so I could shove over the top, and that worked out pretty well. So that's a good move for you to think about. If you guys seen you bluff a couple and he's a little spewy, you can try donking with a good hand. Anyway, that's the first of these videos at the $5 level, and I think the next one I'll play will be at the $20 level. So until the next one, I hope you all run good.